Hey there, friends. I've been thinking. We all have our strengths, right? I can do this, but I'm not so great at that. I'm pretty good at talking to people, but I'm not so great at adding things into a website or app. Oops. I love speaking, sharing stories, social media, all those hashtags and algorithms. Yeah, that's a jungle I haven't quite figured out yet. Coming up with ideas that bring folks together, I'm all about it. But bookkeeping, let's just say numbers, and I don't exactly get along. But that's okay, because someone out there is good at those things. And when we work together, magic happens. See, Community Pay It Forward has never been about one person. It's a program built by many to support even more. Every one of us brings something special to the table. We all have talents that make us great on our own. But imagine how much stronger we are when we bring all those talents together. That's what Community Pay It Forward is all about. Your skills, my skills, our hearts, working together to make a difference. So tell me, what are you good at? Let's find out together. Visit communitypayitforward.us and join the movement. Hi, friends. I'm Barry, and this is my amazing support gang, Zayden, Avery, and Bert. We're here to invite you to something truly magical, the miracle of the season.
This year, we're asking you to collect new books and board games. Yes, they must be new. And deliver them to the 2025 Chili Cook-Off, Community Pay It Forward, or your local children's ward at the hospital closest to you.
These gifts will bring comfort, imagination, and joy to children who need it most.
We also want you to read your favorite story, just like you would to your own kids, and record it for us to share on air.
Help us by purchasing these books and board games.
Open the cover and sign it with your family name, leaving the "to" blank for a nurse to fill in.
Let's celebrate the beauty of every tradition, every story, and every act of love.
Tell us about your favorite holiday memories. What did you celebrate? What moments with family and community do you cherish most?
Your voice could bring a beloved tale to someone who's never heard it before.
Businesses, we need you too. Sponsorships help us reach more families and make this season truly miraculous. Join us in showing your love for the community. Join us for the miracle
of the season. Visit communitypayitforward.us to learn more, get involved, and share your story.
Born into a real fight wasn't right. Where can she dream here? Took a hold of her life, left at night, stepping out of her fear. Bring me home, out alone.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, your friends, your loved ones, your neighbors, and everyone around you. Please help us today by supporting someone. And we ask you this because you know what? Tomorrow is a day of being together, being supportive, giving thanks for many reasons. Today's a day where a lot of people have a lot of things that they can be thankful for. Unfortunately, there's also a lot of people who are thankful for anything. We need to try to focus on them. While we're together, we're celebrating. Let's make sure that we put a thought behind supporting someone else. You know, you got extra paper plates. Take and throw some food, throw some foil on one of them. Take it to a neighbor who's shut in. Or better yet, invite that neighbor to come and join your family. Throw some food on a plate in an old, as I say all the time, in the hillbilly Tupperware. Go give it to somebody who's on the street. Give them something for them to be thankful for. I know one of the things that we're going to do tomorrow is we have a park behind our home that quite often is inhabited by people who are currently looking for housing opportunities. And I know tomorrow, Adrian and I, because we don't have a lot of family coming over, we're going to make up a couple plates. We're going to throw them together and we're going to take them out there and feed people. If you're hearing my voice right now, you're in Greeley, Colorado, give us a call. We might be able to take and put together a food box for you. Or not a food box, sorry, maybe a plate for you. I can't guarantee we're going to be able to do everyone, but you know what? We'll do everything we can do. This is truly a holiday for us to try to help others. Right there's our number. If you're in Greeley, Colorado, and you are shut in, or you would just like a small plate of something to eat, give us a call. Let us see what we can do. Okay? We have not yet obtained our 501c3 to start doing the food boxes again. It will come, because we are announcing tonight, right here, the night before Thanksgiving, we are announcing the 2026 Mission for Healthy Heroes. And the Mission for Healthy Heroes this year is going to help us build the Come Together Compass, which is going to help us become the 501c3 that we need for food boxes for the holiday season again. We've taken the last 5 years off. It's been 5 years too damn long. And I want to start it again. And you can help us by taking part in the 2026 Mission for Healthy Heroes 22-hour podcast on February 22nd. We're going to have things like silent auctions. We're going to have things like stuff to bid on. We're looking for sponsors. We're looking for everything. You can be part of what we're doing. We need you to be part of what we're doing. And for us to make sure that we've got as many people here as we can get here, we need you to take, and whatever you're on right now, make sure that you are subscribed, you've clicked like, you've commented, you've tagged somebody, tag a veteran and say, hey, veteran, check this guy out. Check this out. They're going to try something new. We are going to be starting a show every 2 weeks. Every 2 months. We're going to be starting a show every 2 months with a lady who she was injured in her time in the service. And now she spends her days volunteering nationwide to get our veterans to be covered by the VA properly. She volunteers this. We're going to partner with her. One of the other things she's doing on the 22-hour podcast, she is going to give, I think it's a 45-minute seminar to every veteran on how to get out there and do things. You will be able to respond to her, to ask her questions live on air as she does this. I will be the button monkey sitting right here still on that whole 22 hours. The focus will be on her. But I'll be able to get her the answers to the questions that you ask. This is something that I've been wanting to do forever. We have talked a lot of garbage about the VA. Jane Babcock is her name, and she is going to be joining us coming up here real soon. Matter of fact, I think we record next week for the first time. And what we're going to do is we are going to take Jane and we're going to put her in the forefront for you to be able to get your benefits. You signed your name on this on a contract for this country. You said, hey, here I am. I'm a lump of clay. My life comes to an end in service of my country, so be it. You signed that contract. Damn it, they owe you. Jane is going to help you make sure you get what you're owed. She's going to tell you how to fill things out to make sure you get what you're owed. So I'm looking forward to that. Another one of the people that we're going to start doing shows with quite often is one of our guests tonight, our very first guest tonight. I cannot tell you how important this lady is to me, because I wouldn't do it any justice. She has created something that is so beautiful, so simple, but means so much. And if we can help spread the word and we can help support them, maybe this is the chance with what they're doing and with what we're doing. This is the chance for us to maybe make this comeback this country, this world so desperately needs. Maria Dolores is my first guest, and she is, I'm telling you, I love her. I love her. I love her. She is such a good friend. And we're going to be doing some things focusing on just humanity and just rights. This is more than a PG show. We do use a couple naughty words. Sorry about that. We try not to use too many. And you're going to notice blips in this recording. And that's because we were having a terrible internet connection. There were some things that were going on that was just kicking our butt. So you are going to notice a few things. I hope I got most of them out. But this was recorded a couple days ago. Folks, happy Thanksgiving. Please, please, please remember that there are other people out there who could really, really use your help. And if you're not helping someone, you are hurting everyone. So let's make sure we all come together, take care of people, because no one has to go alone when we all come together. Here is my dear friend, Maria Dolores, with the Human Contract. Hey everyone, the first thing I want to say is it is Thanksgiving week here in America. And I want to wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. And I would like to encourage everyone to where, you know what, you're going to have a little bit of extra food. Maybe bundle some of that food up and take it to someone down the street who didn't have the large family. Maybe take and bundle some of that food up and take it to your local shelter. Just a suggestion. Let's really make this a Thanksgiving day for everyone. Okay. So, Uh, one of the things that I am most thankful for are people like my next guest, Maria Dolores. She is one of the most beautiful people I've ever known. And she has started a program called the Human Contract, which is just so, Maria, it is so like minded. You and I, our organizations are really towards just giving people what people deserve, what people need. And actually what people are owed, and that's just a chance and dignity. But welcome to the show, and how are you doing?
Thank you, Zach. It's so good to see you. I'm happy. I'm happy, and I'm full of gratitude for today and for life. Of gratitude for my daughter and what you and I what we are creating. And I've worked with thousands of funerals. I've casketed 3,000 people. I've attended more than 1,500 funerals of all religions: Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, Sikh, and secular. With that, it's also a lot of gratitude for life. And 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 that's really why it's part of why I'm I feel a lot of love for humanity and for people. And it some people think it's weird. How can you say that that you feel love for people? But it's to see beyond all the labels, to see beyond the color of our skin, or whether we have lived a monetary rich life, or if we lived in with struggles and financial difficulties, whether we had a long life or a short life. It's really with the awe of just life. So I'm really happy. I'm happy to be here with you.
I I always feel like what I think I'd rather have curiosity over money a lot of times, because I want to learn. And one of the reasons why you're so important to me is the what you've done with the funerals. I am not a religious person. I am a religion curious person. I want to learn more about different religions than, I want to learn everything as I can about every religion, about every sect, about all of them. Just because I think that there is so much in ignorance that derives hate. I really believe that, it's fear and it's ignorance that leads to the hatred that people feel for each other. And I think that if we can just take and every day teach somebody or learn something new every day about someone else, I really think that that can take and start pushing some of this bad feeling back and start raising other people where they need to be. Is
Yeah.
that really one of the reasons why you're doing this?
Yeah. Actually, it started 10 years ago when or more. I would say it started longer ago, but going through difficulty, like when my mom died, I was with her in 2009, and to see her in her final moments, and to restore her integrity when she died. But it was also a very important pivot moment, a pivot year for me, was in 2013 when I divorced. And during that time, I say that, my ex-husband's grief over the divorce came. That's amazing. That's hilarious. So what also happened was that my ex-husband died of a brain tumor. So and that, all this turbulence and what we had, um and my personal experience of facing and going through this fear, realized is that we are born with rights, and that we all need to mature with our responsibility. I give my ex-husband the right to hate me, that we have the right to all our emotions, and that's stated in the constitute the human rights, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, that we have the right to our body, we have the right to our emotion, we have the right to our thoughts. But with those rights, we should also have responsibilities. And so it's how we mature as individuals, but it's also how we mature as a species. And so that's what the human contract is about. And so 10 years ago, I wrote this book, State of Grace: Human Rights and Human Obligations. And then my co-founder Stefan was also with me when I was a keynote speaker at the World Peace Conference in 2022. And in 2023, I received the Ambassador for World Peace Award. And just recently, I was in California, and I received an honorary doctorate for the work that I'm doing. And the work is really about how we deepen governance, taking a stand for that we are born with rights, and that we all need to mature with our responsibilities. And I also have my upcoming book, the Human Constitution, which is building on this. So the human contract is the contract that we make to ourselves and that we make to the world. And the human constitution is taking a stand for these 7 principles. So the promises that we make to ourselves is the human contract with ourselves. And the human constitution is clearly stating that we have rights and responsibilities.
The human constitution, it also has uh, you have it written in here as like personal maturity
Yeah.
and impersonal maturity and
Yeah.
global maturity.
Right. Interpersonal.
Interpersonal, I'm sorry.
No, yeah. So the first 3 principles is body, emotion, and thought. That
Hmm.
you are born with the rights to your physical and mental health, and then you have a responsibility to mature, and to mature with our emotions, and that we have the right to all our emotions, but to what you said earlier, how we when we are feeling our emotions, we feel the hate, we feel all these dense emotions, and but it's also to face and to go through that and to release that. And in this process, I call this process the istima
Yeah.
process. When we go from one perspective, and then we dive into fear, anger, frustration, and we come to this breaking point, a realization of there is more here. Who am I if I'm not my this identification of what I experience, what I'm feeling, and to mature. And no one is complete. This is the journey that we are making as humans. So the personal is, and the third principle is about our thoughts, and to question our thoughts when we when we feel these emotions, it's indication that our thinking might need a broader perspective. So any kind of dense emotion, when we are when there is a cognitive dissonance, there is something more to be discovered. So all these emotions is just indications of you have the right to feel what you're feeling, but there might be other aspects that we do not see. And so that's the first three principles: body, emotion, and thought. And then about our relationship, it's power, communication, and life. So if we talk about the fourth principle, that you have the right to your personal power,
Hmm.
and you have the right to your time, your energy, you have the right to your financial power, and you also have a right to your physical power. And as we mature, also becomes our sexual power as we interact with each other. um, but we have both rights and responsibilities in our power and how we act and interact. So power, and then communication, which is freedom of speech, freedom of creativity, and freedom of expression, but also responsibility in what we say. And here is dignity so important, and to listen to each other, and to be in discovery of other aspects and how others are communicating. Um, and so that's the fifth principle out of the seven. And then the sixth principle is about life, that you have the right to your life, and you have a responsibility to respect others' way of life and other life forms. So it's how we can collaborate and unite and better respect life in the ocean and life on land, which ties to the seventh principle, which is about our collective rights and responsibilities. Because I believe, Zach, I believe that when we unite, this is how we can really make a difference in the world. United, we will make a change.
See, what you were saying is so complex, but it's beautiful because every single one of us has the right to be, and excuse the language here, but every single one of us here has the right to be an asshole. We can be an asshole,
Yep.
but we can't treat someone else like an asshole. That's not, it's
Yeah.
not our right to do that,
Yeah.
because other people have just as much right
Yeah.
to this location, to be in the space that they're in.
Yeah.
There was nobody that, there's nobody that's put in place, thankfully, anymore, that was brought here, and they're here unwillingly. Usually people are where they need to be, where they want to be, you
Yeah.
know thankfully we don't have anything like slavery here in the United States anymore, and it's except for, well, we do have some slavery. I don't want to say that,
Yeah,
okay.
we do actually, and that's so fascinating because we have, Zach, this is horrible. We have 45 million slaves in the world today. We have never had as many slaves on this planet than we have today. Yet, Zach, we have never had as many slaves as we have today. We have 45 million slaves in the world today on this planet. Yet we have never had as few in percentage because we are 8 billion people today. So in the 1800, we only had 1 billion people living on the planet. So uh, we have fewer in percentage, but it's all over the world. I mean, I've heard statistics that here in Stockholm, we have 200 apartments with girls that are being bought and sold every single day. So there is slavery everywhere, but we don't really see it. And what I find so horrible is that it's everywhere. And if we have 45 million slaves, then how many million is around that? Buying and selling and trading and security and
Yeah, how
it's
many people are culpable for what's going on?
yeah,
It's, I mean, you got to think about it.
and
There's
that's why.
there's no supply without demand.
Right. And yeah, and that's why we're making various movies and to communicate about this. One movie that we're planning is in Uganda, and it's addressing forced marriages that we want to make, and it's based on true events. Um, it's about this 14-year-old girl, Subi, and the understanding of how can you sell your daughter, uh, because you are right in that spot. It's live or die, and it's with the idea of that, she will be well off, she will be better off, uh, and and the darkness of, we that's why the seventh principle about our collective rights and responsibilities is so important, because again, like I said, united we can make a change, but the change needs to come both from around, uh, the challenges that we have, the division that we have, or the segregation, or the environmental, and the pollution that we have. um, it needs to come in the with the people who are working with and around these challenges, and with other people who have solution, because I believe we have the solution, we already have the technology, but it needs to be better collaboration and giving the right preconditions for people to be able to choose better for themselves. I believe that people want to make the right choices, but it can be, uh, difficult. So yeah, right. So here are the seventh principle: body, emotion, and thought, our rights and responsibility for our physical, mental health, and then power, communication, and life is addressing our interpersonal relationship. And then the seventh is our collective rights and responsibilities.
Right. And I wanted to bring these back up because we showed this last time when we had our last interview, which by the way was too damn long ago. Um, but and you first off, please forgive my wording. I knew what I wanted to say. I just didn't know what I was saying at the time. But yes, being very well aware of how many unfortunate is instances of slavery when we around human trafficking we have. I mean, it is just sad. But my point is that what people are, you know we live in a quote unquote free society, and people should be able to live a free life as they wish to at all times.
Yeah.
Okay, they
Yeah.
should be able to do whatever they want without the fear of you ruining their life. And so that's one of the it's such a beautiful message, Maria, that you put out when it comes to it. But your seven principles are, these are good for you, and once again, you can be a jerk.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah, you can. You were going to say you can be a jerk. Yes.
Yeah, you can be a jerk. Other people can be jerks. That's fine. But you know what? We don't need to be jerks to each other. Truth is, everyone has a right to be here. Everyone has a right to live a life that they're working hard to do to live. And nobody should be treated as a second class citizen, because there is no such thing as a second class citizen. We're all first class, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, and Zach, this is why the human constitution, the purpose of the human constitution is simply a more mature humanity. And so, an immature way is to believe in the thought that we have, first class and second class and third class. It's that's an immature, that's a very narrow-minded way of thinking. And so uh, people who believe in that thought, uh, it's also creating a lot of frustration and anger and rage. And in that, again, with those dense emotions, there are just, it's basically life knocking on your door saying there are other aspects to be discovered. So whenever we are experience dense emotions, like you're a jerk, and uh, so I'm going to curse now.
No, please.
To say, like, yeah, fuck you, I can say whatever I want to because I have the freedom of speech. Yeah, and you have a responsibility, and we need to mature to to broaden perspectives, and we need to listen to each other. So with the freedom of speech also comes a responsibility to listen and a strive to mature.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the old Spider-Man moniker, with great humanity comes great power.
Yeah.
So, hey,
Yeah.
I do have one question for you, and what is the and hopefully this can help explain a little bit more about the Constitution. But what is the difference between avoiding conflict and approaching discomfort with dignity?
Oh, that's such a good question. That's such a great question, because just recently I was looking at um, Sasha, the filmmaker. He make Borat,
Oh,
and
Sasha Baron Cohen.
yes, right. And when I first saw him, um, I would say maybe the first 20 years that I've seen him, I never liked him, uh, because I thought he was acting in a very undignifying way. Now, broadening perspectives, and when I saw him earlier, um, I thought he was acting in a very immature, undignified way. Today, I can see that he was really poking on all the difficult, like sexism and regarding religion, and he's been really addressing all these hard topics, but doing it with, like, making fun of and poking. I'm not saying, is that right, is that wrong? I don't know.
Yeah,
I think, if from my perspective, I believe in that it's good if we strive towards a more mature and dignified way of communication. But yeah, there are various ways in how we create, but the core is really, why are you doing what you're doing? That's what's interesting.
it is kind of funny that in with what Sasha does, he is the worst of all of us. But he's that way because we
Yeah.
allow him to be the worst of all of us.
Yeah.
he's able to recreate those characters because it touches on so many emotions that people have, and I know there's a couple of people who definitely don't are not huge fans of his. I know there's a former mayor of New York City that uh, he's or New York that definitely not a fan of his. So
Right. He's making fun of, right? He's been poking and making fun of a lot of people. But, looking at what he has created now for 20 years, it's because when he is Sasha, when he is authentic, when he with him, if we look at the broader perspective today, uh, what he has created is to make fun of people, of politicians, and he's making fun of people in power, really, in
mhm.
various shapes and form, and sta I would say authentically standing on the people who has less power, but he has done it in a very different way. Like he's inspired and been taught by like a clown, and to be a buffon, which is like the clown that is making fun of superiority. So I'm not applauding, but I'm not in the context that I see now. I cannot even. I'm not endorsing and I'm not condemning
Yeah,
uh, what he has done, but his ways are impactful in. But the point is really, why are you doing what you're doing? Is it simply to make ridicule of another person, or is it another? Do you play a longer game, a bigger perspective in what you are creating? And um, I find it just fascinating. For me, and what I stand for is with dignity and with maturity. And he said himself that a lot of things that he has created is very immature. So yeah, they obviously we can do a lot of things differently, and we can all mature, right?
yeah, and the truth is that once again, you know what? If those things if they disturbed you in your core, okay, yeah, maybe you just don't get the humor. Okay, that's fine. But if what he does disturbs you in your core, he's doing it as a lesson. He's like, you know what? If you want to be this racist guy, I'll show you what the world sees you as. I'll show you how ridiculous it looks to someone else.
Yeah,
And yeah, he's doing it because once again, he is he is able to do this to show, humanity how ugly we look at times, and how ugly some of us look. So Maria, I I truly, truly love everything that you stand for, that Stefan, that you guys are putting together. It's such a beautiful, beautiful organization. I mean, it truly is. There is so much. I know I signed my contract. You guys have my contract. I signed it, and I encourage you all to go to the Human Contract website, and you can get there by scanning this QR code below me.
thank
While
you.
you're there, make sure that you look for a partner to shop with and you can take and help support them. You
Yeah,
can help them continue to do what they're doing. The the act of showing up at these funerals and providing dignity to somebody who may not have had dignity. S- Stunning. And it shows the beauty of who you are as a human being. And it also shows how simple the act of kindness and the act of supporting someone else can be, because this isn't pulling out your wallet, this isn't doing anything like that. This is very simply showing that you care about humans. And I thank you for that. I truly, truly thank you. I thank you for being who you are. And
Thank you.
again, I started this whole interview saying I am very thankful for you. And I mean that, because you are truly one of the most inspirational people I know.
Thank you, Zach. And I'm so happy to be here with you and to meet your audience. And I'm looking forward to this coming decade when we together we can make a difference. And it's about all of us to mature and to care for our physical mental health. It's about to set the rightful boundaries, and sometimes some people need to set more boundaries, and some people need to lessen the boundaries and to open their heart more, and in how we collaborate together as a species.
Now,
So I'm very happy to be here with you, Zach, and I'm looking forward also for people to reach out on LinkedIn. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, and we have an exciting future ahead of us.
yeah, yeah. And you can be part of that future by simply scanning the QR code below and supporting them and making sure that they can continue to spread this message. Look, it all boils down to something that we heard as a kid. If you're treating somebody, the way that you're treating somebody, if you look at yourself and you go, wow, I'd hate to be treated this way, stop doing it, turn around, and go at it again. Okay.
Yeah,
If you don't want to be treated the way that you're treating someone else, then you're
yeah,
doing it wrong.
yeah,
Okay. Turn
yeah,
around, treat them like a human being. We all deserve that right. We all have that right.
yeah.
And you don't have the right to make someone less than you are. So
Right.
you simply don't. So, Maria, thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank
And
you.
I look forward to working with you so much more here in the very, very near future.
Yes, yes. Likewise.
All
Thank you.
right.
Thank you.
When you join the Community Pay It Forward family, your business can be seen because people know your business will offer hope to organizations like Todd Lingle of CARES Foundation. CARES Foundation is a proud mission partner of Community Pay It Forward. CARES Foundation is dedicated to educating young drivers of the dangers of impaired and distracted driving. Every sale through Community Pay It Forward helps support incredible organizations like the CARES Foundation.
Uh, Maria Dolores, once again, thank you, thank you, thank you for being part of this, and continuous support for the Community Pay It Forward family. They are one of our wonderful mission partners. You can get a hold of them. You can find out more by going to Community Pay It Forward and just typing in the search bar. Just type in um, human contract. Go on there, read that contract, and make the signature. Sign it as a sign to yourself. Dedicate yourself to treating other people with the respect that they deserve, that they should get. There is nobody on this earth that is worth less than you. I don't care if you've got $30 trillion in the bank. And there's a person standing next to you that doesn't have enough money to put in a bank. They are no less important than you are. Everyone has value. There are some people who take and screw that up. Not going to condone it, but it is what it is. If we have a really good friend of the program who has an event coming up in the next couple weeks, and let me get this off there. And it's a veteran fundraiser and social mixer. It is in Denver at the Social Fabric Hub. 12/20/25 from 3:30 to 7:30. They are looking for sponsors. They're looking for vendors, and they're looking to raise money for hot meals, essential clothing, mental health services, and so much more. You can contact Kim at 585-553-8555. That's a lot of fives. Once again, that's 585-553-8555. So please reach out to Kim. Tell her that Community Pay It Forward sent you, and she's going to work with you to try to get you as a sponsor of this mission. I am going to go out and say that, you know what, you don't have to be a business in Denver to show that you care about this. This is if you would like, and you want to take and pay a sponsorship, contact me. I will put stuff on our booth that we're going to have there at right there at the event. So the entry fee is $20. Come on in, take a look around, visit all the vendors, talk to them. We are going to be there at Community Pay It Forward and the PAC channels. I'm going to have some stuff from a couple of my partners, and you'll be able to talk to me and learn a little bit more. And who knows, maybe we'll be able to do some extra special stuff together. But yes, we will be there. Hey, Miracle of the Season is coming up. You can get more information by scanning this QR code, but Miracle of the Season is coming up. It is on December 25th. What are we looking for? We're very simply put, what was your favorite Christmas memory? What was the best lesson you learned in Christmas? What was your favorite story? Who can you not be with this year that you wish you could be with? What is your favorite recipe? What is your favorite thing to cook on this day? What's your favorite design? Do you make special Christmas ornaments? Homemade Christmas ornaments? Record these and share them with us so we can put together 37 straight hours of positivity. Record yourself reading a story. Just say you're reading it to your kid. Place your son, your daughter's name in it. Your grandson, your granddaughter. Place their name in it. But we're going to share it with everybody so everyone can hear your story. So be a huge part of this program. Scan the QR code up in the corner. Become a part. Become a sponsor. Become part of the miracle of the season. Tell us how you celebrate. Tell us about your culture. Tell us how your culture celebrates different holidays, different celebrations this time of year. Let's get to know each other a little bit better, and maybe we can get rid of the fear that others feel, because fear, quite simply, is brought on by ignorance. So let's learn more about the wonderful things that you and your family do. My next guest and my last guest for this night, before I let you go and start cooking that turkey and all those wonderful, wonderful, wonderful pies that I love oh so much, as you can see by my wonderful athletic physique. I got a dog on my elbow, as you all can see. Mr. Ghost is thinking that he has to be part of this show now. Um, so, but Radio Bob USA is another nonprofit program, another one of our mission partners. They are one of the 2 mission partners that we're bringing you today. And they are brand new to our program. We're looking to work with them quite a bit on supporting clean programs and just supporting family members, teaching unity, teaching togetherness, just taking and becoming more than just families. Let's become community. And that's one of the things that Bob is teaching you. So here's my friends, at Radio Bob USA. Everybody, I am with Robert West, or Radio Bob USA .com, correct?
Yeah, that is correct. That is our website.
Okay. And he is one of our brand new mission partners, which means you can support their mission by simply shopping with any of our giving partners and scanning the QR code that you're going to see above on your screen. You do that and you can help them support the programs that they help support, which help people all over the globe. Now, Bob, nonprofit radio is nowhere near a new thing, and it's not even a something that's abnormal. There's quite a bit of nonprofit radio stations out there. What makes Radio Bob USA different?
Some of the things that make us different as a nonprofit internet radio station is the fact that we're reaching people not only on a single action level, as some nonprofits might be doing, but a multiple aspect level and a multiple location level. So we're trying to reach people on a local scale by our attendance of events and our work within the community that we have here in California. And our broadcast is centered around the Pacific Standard Time. So we consider our morning broadcast the same here, but we broadcast worldwide. So our next circle of influence as the radius gets bigger is the Western United States, where we attend these events. And we're well known within the car culture, classic car culture, land speed racing community, sprint car racing community. And these are tracks that we go to, we interact with the community and offer our services, which are not only available for these people that we meet out and about, and those are services from our life coaches worldwide that we provide to people that are having trouble balancing. But we have physical services that we provide locally in the form of donations, grants, programs, educational exchanges, marketing assistance, allowing teens and others to participate in STEM technologies. We back all these up, and we also offer these further out worldwide. We also engage on an environmental level. So we're working next year to work on a couple of environmental projects. So we reach a lot of people, and we are a nonprofit that's different on that scale. We use a couple of tricks. We use our audio program, and we use our video program. Our audio station is our internet radio station, which plays classic rock, jazz, and then has 20 programs spread out through its broadcasting week that are provided for free by other contributors to help us gain an audience, but at the same time inform the public on an educational level. And those range from NASA, Houston, we have a podcast, to our R&B show, and they're given to us from all over the world. So we're automatically engaging people in New Zealand, Australia, the United Kingdom, Canada. I just picked up a guy out of Chicago, and we actually have a live morning drive covering surf reports from the beaches of San Diego 3 days a week. So we're a little bit different. We do not do news. We do not do politics. We do not do commercial advertising. You won't hear the advertising that you hear on any radio station on our station. We do advertising with our voices, people that we trust or people that sponsor us. We let you know that, and we hide nothing. We make all of this wide open and out in the stream.
What brought this on, Bob? What was it about? You and I, in which one thing that we never talked about was the whole reason why I wanted to get into radio, and now I sit behind this camera. I went to work. I was going to take over my grandfather's radio tower business. Okay, he put up the radio towers in most of these United States. My grandfather could put one of those things up in a matter of days, where it would take others weeks. He would put them up in days and move on to the next one, throw another one up. He was doing it forever. And I was going to go and I was going to take over for him. I got less than a quarter of the way up one of those things. I looked down and I was like, nope, not for me, not for me at all. I looked at Grandpa and I said, you know what? You go on ahead and put them up and I'll find a way to talk on them. We don't use radio towers anymore, but by God, I'm still doing what I can do. What got Radio Bob USA started? Why did you go with this?
Well, I was born into it to start. So a little bit of pre-story before the actual trigger mechanism. My father, Richard West, was a mover and a shaker within the community of San Francisco in the 1966 to 1972 range, and would be frequently seen at a show with Peter, Paul, and Mary or the Grateful Dead, or there was numerous occasions where people like Robert Wagner and Clint Eastwood and Grace Slick were at our house for dinner. My first television appearance, I was 6 months old on some special that they had going, and they needed a baby, and Dad said, "Mom, bring the kid down." I was one of those, right? So I was carrying cable for my dad and running stuff all the way up until I was 18 years of age. And by then I'd actually appeared in a couple of major motion pictures, got into theater. Well, my brothers are tugboat captains, and I did a little bit of that too. But mostly I've been doing rock and roll and hanging around music and going to concerts and having a good time like every other kid, and ended up working for people like the Safaris and Phil Collins and Grace Slick again, and Rolling Stones and The Who and all these people, and doing live theater, and got out of it and got into the marine industry, marine construction industry, and was in that for about 35 years, environmental work. And so about 6 years ago, my wife and I started traveling because COVID came along and we had nothing to do like everybody else. So we started traveling. Traveling's expensive. And I said, man, it'd be great if we could write this off. Is there a way to write this off? I mean, seriously, that's what I said. I said, I wonder if we could write this off. She goes, I don't know. You got to do something with it. I said, okay, I'll videotape it for the media. Right? We'll start a media channel. So we started a YouTube channel called YouTube West. We did that for 5 years. We went to trade shows, we went to events, we went to nonprofit things, we interviewed people, and we did educational videos, and we put them to music. And was it questionable? Okay, but we did it. What the heck? And so 2019 came along, and this was the trigger. A young lady I know had committed suicide, and I had worked for her dad, and she had worked with me for, I don't know, 13 years, 10 years, long time. And I really liked her, but when I left that company, I really didn't talk to her a lot, but I talked to like all her friends. And we talked on Facebook kind of thing. Well, I found out that she died. And I looked back at her history of being raised by her dad and kind of being watched by her dad and not having a lot of options and never really getting her wings spread because she didn't really communicate with a lot of other people, and she might have had some issues. But the long and short of it was that as I started to look back on this over the first few months after her death, I realized that none of the people that she knew, as well enough that lived within 5 blocks of her, had talked to her at all. They'd all been on Facebook. They'd been texting her. And these were people that knew her longer than I did and knew more about her, and they were her best friends. And I said, that's kind of weird. And then they started posting these things on Facebook. Why didn't you talk to me? I would have rather talked to you at 3 a.m. than not talk to you forever. Well, why didn't you talk to her? If she hasn't talked to you and she's your friend, go talk to her.
Yeah.
If you can't muster it up, what do you need to go talk to her? You need me to go talk to her? Let me know. I'll go talk to her, right? And so I was talking to my wife and I said, how do we convince people to talk to each other again without being angry, without being judgmental, without being the rest of it? What is the one thing that we all have, that we all like, that we'll all listen to, and then maybe we can sneak something in without sneaking it in. And she goes, I don't know. And I go, I'm going to come up with this. I said, I cannot let this stand. I don't know what it'll take. I don't know where it'll go. And so about a month later, I started listening to these videos on how to start an internet radio station, and listened to for 3 weeks in a row, every minute at my job. So about 6 hours a day. and that's where I stumbled. I said, this is where it can happen, but it's got to be original.
Mm-hmm.
And so I spent 6 months learning every piece of technology that would be required to do that, and spent the first year basically stuffing it full of songs and praying and asking and licking people's knuckles for content. And then realized that the real trick of any nonprofit, because it was always destined to be a nonprofit to help others, was to have public engagement. So I knew I needed sponsorships, and I knew the sponsors had to get something for it, but only 20 people were listening to my station every week. So then I went and raced out and introduced myself to the racing community and said, you're stuck with me. I'm going to go to Bonneville next year. You guys are going to get me there, and milk that community with their love and their appreciation, and got there. And yesterday, I think we were 275 listeners on a Sunday. Now we're on track to hit 10,000 before the end of the month. We're reaching people. And I think our message that you can do something, you can leave your apartment, you can get on the bus, you don't need an RV, you can go down and meet the seniors at the senior center, you can help the kids at the high school. You have wisdom. I'm 62. I know a lot about water safety. I can help somebody. I have environmental experience. I have a page on my website, planetary considerations. Let's do waste energy. We don't need oil. We have garbage. I don't know where you fit on energy, but garbage will fuel this nation. There's so much of it.
We got plenty of garbage. That's for damn sure.
I can put that stuff into energy tomorrow at a data center locally on the corner of 4th and Main in a 2-story building, and get you all the energy you need for a data center. And you will eliminate landfills. This is not that tough, but it starts with communicating. And so inside the stream, inside the rest of it, we've surrounded it with programs that interest different people. We've gotten visuals from our land speed racing community and our sprint car community, drag racing community. We have people like Joe Bonamassa and Robert Trower sending us songs for free. We're doing something. I know it in my heart. And we're meeting people like you and other people through these communities who are saying, yeah, you are doing something. And we may not do something tomorrow. It may be 6 or 7 months from now when somebody goes, there was that dude. And I heard him, and he might have been right, Okay.
No, Bob, it's again one similarity between us. What you're saying and what I constantly am saying is that it doesn't look you don't have to worry about what you say. Just keep talking. Never shut up, because what you are going to say is what someone needs to hear. Somewhere down the line, someone's going to run into it. And I mean, seriously, how many times have you been in line? You see the person in front of you with milk, and you're like going, oh my God, that's actually what I came to the store for. And I got everything else, but I forgot the milk. That's the way life is. There's always someone around you somewhere. You may never have seen them before and may never see them again, but something that you're going to say is going to stick with them, and it's going to remind them, you know what? I do need to check on my neighbor because I haven't seen seen them in a while.
Right.
This
is,
we've come to this place now in life where these things and these computers, they've taken over humanity. And guess what? It is what it is. Everything changes. That's the way it goes. But the truth is that we need to make sure that we are reaching out to people. And there is no tomorrow for some people if we don't reach out to them. What you were saying about your friend and somebody saying, well, I wish you would have reached out to me. You're right. It's not exactly their concern in that moment.
Right,
But
right.
it would have meant a hell of a lot more to her if you would have reached out to her.
It would have given her the option. There would
Mm-hmm.
have been that maybe just one person there. We talk about trying to solve things. We put, like you said, we have the sewer in front of us called the internet. You and I are talking on it right now, and we're working in a positive environment. And so what we've tried to do with our station is provide that positive environment. And then what we've tried to do in our stream and on our website and everywhere that you see us, even our racing videos with music that some people would not consider very positive, is put out the fact that we're being honest with you. We're telling you this is Greek philosophy. This is not coming from Romans chapter 2, verse 39, and I'm sneaking it in from the New Jerusalem Bible. No, this is from Plato and Plutarch, and they knew it then. I don't know how familiar you are with a series called Band of Brothers. There's a couple of connotations.
I've seen portions of it. I need to watch all of it, but I
There's a
haven't.
couple of connotations in my life that I really feel that are critically important. Number one is management is not leadership. There's a difference. And in Band of Brothers, they talked to this guy Richard Winters, and he's the leader of the series of the men, and he talks to another guy about you can't take from these men. You can't take from these men below you. And he sets this thing in front of him. And the whole time you're listening to the guy, you're realizing that he's an honest leader because he's in front of you, he's standing there, he's doing what you do, but he's telling you the truth. And so that's what we do is instead of presenting you with this wall, okay, we're using a sewer, we're going to turn this wall, the sewer, into a truth. And that's why we didn't go totally visual with podcasts and YouTube. We want people to listen to the radio and garden. We want them to work on their car. We want them to do what you do, get ready for your next show. We want them to turn on the station, feel comfortable, and learn something at the end of the day and have an opportunity to engage others if they feel so inclined. It's a place.
Jocko Willnick and I'm dropping his partner's name. I can't remember his partner's name, but they were talking about in their first book how he went to go and they do coaching with managers and with owners, and they were talking about how this owner was so gung-ho and he wanted to be Patton. That was his goal. I want to be Patton. I want these people to respect me like Patton and stuff like that. And they had to sit there and they had to tell him, whoa, do you realize Patton was hated by his troops? Most of his troops hated him.
Yeah.
And you can't expect great work out of people who hate you. Guess what? And this is my own addition to this. It's easy to love and respect somebody who's throwing orders at you. If somebody's throwing bullets at you, you're going to listen to them.
Yeah,
if
right.
you're not in a life and death situation and you're yelling at me, you know what that's going to do to me? You're not going to like me very much. You're just not going to. So, and it is there's so much that if we just communicate with each other.
That's it. That's it, right? So, and it's funny because people talked about, you should make it like $1 a month for people to listen. I'm like, no, I'm not forcing you to pay for something. You can listen online for free. You can go down to the library and get an education for free. You won't get a degree. You can get an education. I've known kids that have done it. Self-taught themselves piano at the local library, and the place had bars on the window. The kid got out of the hood. He's a classical pianist. He's awesome. He doesn't have a degree, but he's awesome because he wanted to work hard. And he was willing to stand up against the kids in his neighborhood and make a shot at it. They don't all make it, but he did. So I think that's the same thing we do. We talk about surfing, we talk about cooking, we talk about backpacking, we talk about going to air shows, we talk about, is it golf that makes you feel good? Is it the kayak that makes you feel good? Great, get in it.
Yeah.
Offer it to somebody else. Because here's what's going to happen. That strength of relationship creates better business relationships. Learn the people who serve you coffee every day. Learn their names. Find out, what's going on. You don't have to ask them if they want to go out, if they're married or whatever. Don't get personal. But how about have a nice day? It sucks to serve coffee sometimes.
Look, being a waiter, being a waitress, job sucks.
Job sucks. But you do it.
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you something. There's that old saying that the customer's always right. Yeah, no, they're not.
Oh.
No, they're not. And as a matter of fact, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, you're usually wrong. Okay. But I can say that now. I'm not in that field anymore.
Right, I'm not there, but when I was in 19, I was in college. I worked 4 hours a day in a restaurant. I guarantee you that customer was right. You wanted extra fries, you got them.
Yeah.
You got them. I was hungry. Nobody was paying for my school.
Yeah.
And it's okay if somebody's going to pay for your school. Okay, but I would like you to consider to get something out of it while you're there. I think that's only fair.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but today for me has been a very, very special day. I was able to have a meeting with a lady today who's going to become very, very familiar here on the PAC channel, because she helps fellow veterans make sure that they're covered with the VA coverage. And she's
Yeah.
going to be joining us for our Christmas special for our 37
I got a
hours of
client for her
positivity.
right now.
You know what? We'll talk off air. But she's going to be joining us for our 37 hours of positivity for Miracle of the Season, and then she's going to join us on our 22-hour podcast, Mission for Healthy Heroes, and she's going to run a seminar during that 22-hour podcast. So, but she does this, and Bob, for free. She doesn't ask a penny. She doesn't want a penny. And I told her exactly what you're telling me, and you're telling everybody right here. I do this to where, you know what, if I could make a living on it, awesome. But my mission has nothing to do with me becoming rich. My mission has to do with making sure other people get the help that they need. I am on an ever-ending, mission to help everyone in this world with something. That's my mission. And
So,
it's a beautiful thing when people get together with the same mission. You know what? I'd love to walk away with $1 or $2. If I don't, I don't. As long as we help somebody today, that's what I want to do.
that's the beauty of it. When we were a younger country, we were excuse me, we were a younger country, we were more centralized. So family lived with family and understood from a multi-generational aspect. This is kind of interesting in a way, because the multi-generational aspect has deteriorated over the last 6-7 generations, and the wisdom of our grandparents and the wisdom of history and the wisdom of civics and knowledge are gone, right? So there's only one place with any sort of really big multi-generational following, and that's, oddly enough, the racing industry. The kids tend to go into kart racing at 4 years of age because dad races, and kids want to be like dad. And so what happens is that the true tribal multi-generational family is there, and the learning experience that they get is better. And it goes the same way for the farm kids, the ones that are still living on the farms. But the inner city kids, they don't get these opportunities because it's removed. We go visit grandpa and we go visit the rest of them. So then we give them a cell phone and we make them withdraw even more.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking this is not the way to go. So if we're going to move forward in any way as a society, whether we live on this rock or another one, then our future is dependent on the educational program of the younger youth coming up, i.e. STEM. And the best place to find out right now is in the racing community. And then in the agricultural community within itself, which it always has, right? But what does that do for the 65% of the rest of the people on the planet? Absolutely nothing. And so that's where we can come in. I mean, even though we're a radio station, we've got some interesting stuff going on. We support kids, and hopefully we can get them interested in space or technology or food or backpacking or something like that. And then they can go out and try to make their money and good to them. And I would too. I'm 10 years older than my wife. She's going to have to retire. She's going to probably make it 10 to 15 years beyond me. I'd love her to do some accounting and some Upwork and maybe some marketing. She can make a go at it, but nobody will know who she is. This nonprofit will give an opportunity for us to help people, which it has. We'll pour all our money into it, which we've been doing. And if somebody is fortunate enough to step up and go, here's 10 grand, how will that help you? It'll pay the bills and it will help others. That's what it will do, but it won't pay me a dime.
Yeah,
Not
it
as long as
is.
I'm working.
Look, yeah, I mean, the truth is that there's got to be somebody manning the ship to make
Right.
any nonprofit go. It's not an inexpensive, prospect. Look, and the truth is about kids is we sit here and our generation today. Well, these kids, they don't know, no, and that's not true. These kids
No.
know more than we knew at their age. They just know how to do it easier and without stressing like we did when we were younger. We need to start working with them instead of against them and using some of what they know, some of what we know, put it together and make it work. And oh my God, things happen.
Yeah. Welcome to this one. So when I started this whole thing, Yasmin, my wife, and I had been big surf fans. Now, I've never surfed. I've water skied. I have 35 years on the water, commercial tugboat, operation vessels, took 225 feet long. I know what the hell I'm doing on the water. Never surfed, right? And so I've been watching surfers in Half Moon Bay all my life, right? I've been watching other people surf on television. I love surf documentaries, Endless Summer, Step into Liquid, you name it, I'm in it. Kelly Slater, Laird Hamilton, right? I'm in it. And there's this guy, Jerry Lopez. He's a guru. He's a smart surfing guy. And he's part of Surf Riders Foundation trying to help the planet. Okay, great. Well, what is it about surfers that attract me? It was just what I was telling you about. They don't believe in walls. They don't believe in doorways. They believe in possibilities. The wave is a force to be worked with, not reckoned with. They will tell you 100 ways to approach the same wave because they've been on 1,000 waves and they survived it, because the day they can't tell the story, they don't come home. You know what I mean? So they've learned these tricks and trades of how to deal with the physical forces of the universe. And these guys like Lopez have learned to do the same thing with their life. And no matter how bad it gets, he bounces off of it and he just keeps right on going. And some of them are slackers and some of them are Elon Musk. I mean, they're out of control technology freaks, but we've really embraced their community because their worldview is so much different, and they have a lot to say, and their environment is great. And so we were talking about, well, we can get through with our language to some people, but we can't get through to everybody.
Yeah.
So,
well, look, every idiot
visually,
has a
they
good
give us
thought every
everything.
once in a while.
Yeah.
So
Visually, it's so much with the racing and the surfing to help us get through to some other people. And then Yasmin, make sure that there's writing and a spiritual community and connection so that our life coaches and everybody else benefits. We want a ship that literally raises all boats. We want it high tide.
well, Bob, it's I'm hoping that we can get you back on here more often, but how do people get a hold of you?
Easiest way to get a hold of us is to go to our website, www.radiobobusa.com. You can catch us on our Facebook page. Mine's Robert West. It has a Radio Bob logo on it, and I look like a programming director. Gives you my background and bio. They can always connect with me. I check my Facebook page every day. For those that are interested in supporting the station or other individuals, here's a crazy one. I'm going to give you my personal email, bob@radiobobusa.com. Why? Because I'm willing to work with anybody. I'll live broadcast. I'll work with you. I don't care. Any place, anytime, anywhere to help others. That's how it works.
That sounds great, my friend. I appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
You bet.
Sorry, Bob West with Radio Bob USA, preceded by my great friend Maria Dolores of the Human Contract. Coming up this Monday on Footprints Forward, we've got Aviva Chansky Gutman. Wonderful conversation I had with her. She is a really, really good friend of the program. She is really, really close with our friend Lynn Sobolski and Mr. Z. And she is looking at how she can support the program and support the family. So you're going to want to take and join us. Folks, I need you to start recording and send stuff in now, Maybe you can take over the weekend and record some of the stuff that you make for the holiday. Again, do you make something better than someone else? Do you make the best stuffing in the world? I know you don't, because I do. Record how you make it, share it with others. Maybe someone's looking, I don't want to buy that box brand that's so damn popular. I want to make my own. Hey, look, we can watch this and we can make it. Maybe we can add this to ours, our celebration. Hey, we're looking for a new family tradition. Maybe we can take and watch the miracle of the season for a little bit, and we can come up with a new family tradition. What is lighting the candles for? What's the purpose of lighting the candles? We don't quite understand it. Maybe we can watch this and we can learn a little something about other traditions, because all we know is about ours. Maybe we will understand it a little bit more, and we'll get to know what the neighbors are doing without acting, suspicious and looking ignorant. I don't care. I'll look ignorant. I'll ask the questions. If you would like help recording these, it's very simple. All you have to do is reach out to me, okay? Simply reach out to me, and I will help you record these. This is about connecting. This is about 37 straight hours of positivity, of learning, of being a community. And this is about celebrating not just one, all seasons, all celebrations, and creating a miracle of all celebrations coming together in one area to instruct, to inform people, to educate people about what we believe in. You don't have to be like me. As a matter of fact, I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be you. And that way we can learn from each other and we can do wonderful things. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Please remember my plea. If you got extra food, throw it on a plate, throw it in the old hillbilly Tupperware, take it to somebody. If you have an extra coat, take it to them. Winter's here. It's starting to get cold. I'm actually wearing jeans. I'm not wearing shorts right now, so it's getting cold. Share your grace with someone else. Give them something to be thankful for. It's very simple. We're not asking you to go out and do anything specific. Just, what the hell? It's one turkey sandwich that I'm not going to get tired of. Because I gave my neighbor who doesn't have family, I gave them a meal. We had the food. Let's do this. Be somebody's thankful. Be somebody's thankful. From the Claytons, and my extended family, to your family, to all your friends, to all my wonderful, from the Community Pay It Forward family, all of our mission partners, all of our giving partners, all of our sponsors, and all of our community partners. Have a wonderful holiday. Please remember, if you're not helping someone, you're hurting everyone. No one needs to go it alone, folks. When we all come together, especially for Thanksgiving, record. Record or get signed with us to make a difference. Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday. Call me if you need my help. Call me, see how you can help. We can do this together, folks. Let's take care of each other because we're all we got. Make sure you love somebody out there because somebody out here loves you. I think I've got most of my things in there. Folks, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We love you very much. Thank you.
Hey there, friends. I've been thinking. We all have our strengths, right? I can do this, but I'm not so great at that. I'm pretty good at talking to people, but I'm not so great at adding things into a website or app. Oops. I love speaking, sharing stories, social media, all those hashtags and algorithms. Yeah, that's a jungle I haven't quite figured out yet. Coming up with ideas that bring folks together, I'm all about it. But bookkeeping, let's just say numbers, and I don't exactly get along. But that's okay, because someone out there is good at those things. And when we work together, magic happens. See, Community Pay It Forward has never been about one person. It's a program built by many to support even more. Every one of us brings something special to the table. We all have talents that make us great on our own. But imagine how much stronger we are when we bring all those talents together. That's what Community Pay It Forward is all about. Your skills, my skills, our hearts, working together to make a difference. So tell me, what are you good at? Let's find out together. Visit communitypayitforward.us and join the movement.
I just had to say it. Did you see it? Did you see it? I fixed it finally. It says community on the spot. Did you see it? Did you? Happy Thanksgiving.
Say, bring me home, out alone, to show me the way. You wanna hold the heart of Sunset Boulevard. Bring me here, 'cause it's not quite clear to be a part of Sunset Boulevard.
We have a beginning. 2 full boxes. Getting ready to go to Northern Colorado hospitals. Congratulations to everyone who's been helping us with this and everyone who's going to continue. We are starting this off in a really good way. Please make sure you continue to drop off books, collect books, or donate via our